Overtime with Lee Patterson, the only live local radio sports talk show in the Gila Valley.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
And now, here's your host for Overtime, Lee Patterson.
Is it that hard to turn the knobs?
Yes, sometimes it is that hard to turn the knobs. Hey, welcome to Overtime. Lee Patterson with you. Hope you're doing well. Today, we have a good program for you today. We're going to recap last week. We are going to preview this week in football. Volleyball started last night, so we'll get into some scores of them as well. Just a lot of good information today on a rainy day in the Gila Valley. Looks like, well, when I walked into the studio, it looked like it was clearing up. I don't really know what's coming next, but it is definitely wet out there, so be careful as you're moving around the Gila Valley today and into tonight. It is September 1st. Can you believe it is September? We are now September, October, November, December, 4 months away from 2022. I thought it feels like it's March of 19, doesn't it? Or March of 20. It went by slow, and then all of a sudden it sped up into hyper speed. So we've got all that information up, so we're going to grab the paperwork here and start with 3A football scores from Friday night. Window Rock and Alchese was canceled. Pinon and Chenli was canceled. Tuba City and Gray Hills was canceled. American Leadership Gilbert North beat Odyssey Institute 69-0. Fountain Hills beat ALA Ironwood 35-12. Sabino beat Arizona College Prep 28-6. And that's, I figured Sabino was going to be decent this year in the 3A, but to hold Arizona College Prep to 6 is probably the most impressive thing. That was at Arizona College Prep on their first ever home football game. They've been playing, so they're in the Chandler District, ACP is, and they've been playing at other Chandler District schools when they didn't have home games. So they really didn't have a home field until this year. Over the summer, they got their school and their field built, and they were debuting that field, and Sabino went up there and beat them 28-6. So that tells me Sabino will be around again this year. Thatcher and Safford both will play them later this year. Push Ridge went down to Benson and beat them 34-21. Benson led that game 21-14 late in the game, and Push Ridge just went on a tear and came away with the win. Coolidge beat Coronado 49-0. Kingman over Cortez 52-0. Mojave beat Florence 55-36, which is surprising to me. Mojave is never really around in the football talk, but they've got a quarterback over at Mojave that is really talented and definitely will be on my preseason watch list when it comes out. Holbrook and Ganado was canceled. Winslow beat Monument Valley 20-15. Kanab, Utah blanked Page 47-0. Paradise Honors beat Trivium Prep 26-20. Payson over Chino Valley 33-20. River Valley beat Eastmark 49-42. Round Valley blanked Phoenix Christian 48-0. Yuma Catholic went to Vegas and beat Slam Academy 42-0. Sholo beat St. John's 43-0. Tuba City over Whitehorse, Utah 48-0. Valley Christian beats the defending 3A state champion Snowflake 38-24. Wickenburg over Dysart 19-0. Holbrook beat Window Rock 52-0. And the two local 3A games, the one you heard here, Thatcher over Sarita 53-7. And Safford beat Blue Ridge 20-19 in overtime. Much like we did last week, I went ahead and put all the touchdowns together of the Thatcher-Sarita game, which is the game you heard here. So every week I'm going to try to put the touchdown montage together, play it here on the show, post it on social media. It'll be on Overtime with Lee Patterson on Facebook. And this is all the touchdown calls, except for last week I missed one. Not the very first touchdown of the game by Thatcher, not in this montage. But we will play now every other touchdown in the 53-7 win for the Thatcher Eagles.
Larson in the shotgun with Mangum to his right on the jumbo package. Takes the snap and hands it straight ahead. Left side and in. Touchdown, Eagles. Josh Mangum with his first touchdown of the season. A two-yard touchdown run for Thatcher. A handoff up the middle right side for the Eagles and in for the touchdown, Aiden Bingham. Valdez in the shotgun with Pedrego to his left. Takes a snap, straight drop, looks right, rolls right, now lets it go across the middle. It's intercepted. 25-yard line, room to run. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Aiden Bingham. A 25-yard interception return for a touchdown, and the Eagles on the board again. Larson in the shotgun, two receivers to the left. On 1st and 10 at the 15. Rolls left. Larson throws on the run. He's got a man. That's Shoop near the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. Slade Shoop on a 14-yard touchdown catch from Larson. And the Eagles, 6 more on the board with 3:49 to play here in the first half. So it'll be second down and 11 for Thatcher at the 30 to 41-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top of the formation. Larson in the shotgun with Mangum to his right as we approach 2 minutes to play in the first half and a 35-0 lead. Quick pass to the near side to Napier. He's got it. He gets a block from Shoop down the right sideline. 15-10-5, touchdown Eagles. Brandon Napier on a 42-yard touchdown pitch and catch from Wyatt Larson, and the 3rd passing touchdown of the half for the Thatcher Eagles. It's 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line now for the Eagles. 2 receivers left. Napier in the shotgun. Carter to his left. Takes a snap. Hands it to Carter right side. Spins off a tackle right at the goal line. And he's in. Touchdown Eagles. Number 33, Christian Carter, a 5'7", 135-pound sophomore with a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles on the board again in the 3rd quarter. 3 receivers in the near side for Valdez. Back to pass, straight drop for the Mustangs. Looks downfield, lets it go deep down the right side for Loveball. He's got it at the 10. Touchdown, Mustangs. Back deep, it looks like Napier and Shoop still back deep. High end over end kick. It will be Shoop fielding it at the 7-yard line. Heads to the near side. He's got plenty of blockers. He outruns them, though. He's still on his feet. He may go the distance. He's gone. See ya. He gone. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Eagles. A 93-yard kickoff return touchdown for Slade Shoop.
There it is. That is every touchdown in the game, except for the first one. I missed a 40-yard touchdown pass from Wyatt Larson to start the game, 3rd play of the game in that one. So Thatcher looked really impressive in the game. A lot more impressive than I think even the coaches thought that they were at in their game plans. They looked good. They were big and strong, Thatcher is. They're huge up front. We talked about that last week. And they were able to do whatever they wanted to up front. Used about everybody on the roster in the game. And it was a nice first start for them. They go to Florence this week, who lost to Mojave. So we'll see how it goes. The other 3A game featuring a local team, what a night it was for the Safford Bulldogs in Bob Park's debut. The game at Blue Ridge, all the turmoil surrounding Blue Ridge in the offseason, they were ready to play a game. Safford goes up there. It's delayed an hour, and they kick around 8 o'clock. As soon as it kicks, it just starts pouring for the full first quarter. They play through it. Ugly, sloppy football. Lots of turnovers. Both teams offensively not as good as defensively to start the season. Thatcher down 6 with 2 minutes to play. They score and miss the PAT, and it's tied at 19 headed to overtime. Well, we haven't seen an overtime game here locally in a long time, but high school football is a lot like college football in overtime, where you get untimed downs to score. You start at the 20-yard line. You can get a first down, and then you have to score, or you turn the ball over to the other team. Blue Ridge scores and misses the PAT on their overtime possession, and then Safford gets it and scores on 4th and goal on a little pop pass, if I remember correctly. Bob Park, I talked to Bob the next day, and it's been a little bit, and they kick the PAT to win. And that pop pass might have been the score they scored on at the end of the game. I can't remember, but they scored. They kicked the PAT in overtime and won 20-19. That's a big win for Safford and Bob Park in his debut. They have the Pima Rough Riders this week, which is a very intriguing game we'll talk a little bit about later in the show. Down to the 2A games last week. Antelope beat Highland Prep 26-16. Arete Prep over Glendale Prep 50-24. Bisbee beat Catalina 46-0. Camp Verde over Valley Lutheran 40-12. St. John Paul II beat Kingman Academy 20-6. Madison Highland over San Pasqual 64-0. NFL Yet beat North Point Prep 16-6 in their first 11-man game. Paradise Honors beat Trivium Prep 26-20. Parker over Gilbert Christian 44-17. Santa Cruz beat Santan Charter 36-6. Santa Cruz only had 17 players dressed in that game, and they were able to beat Santan Charter 36-6. Tombstone over Santa Rita 42-0. Chandler Prep beat Tonopah Valley 33-6. Tanca Verde over Heritage Academy 50-8. Scottsdale Prep beat Veritas Prep 13-7. Wilcox over Globe 57-0 in the other 2A game. 2A games featuring local teams. A big win at home for Morenci as they beat Sequoia Pathways 45-12. And Pima with a big showing at Miami 56-14 in their win. I was not expecting Pima to put up 56. I thought Pima was the favorite at Miami. I thought it would be kind of a low-scoring game like the Sanford Blue Ridge game, but Pima really showed out. 56 points in that one. I think that's going to put Sanford on notice this week in that game at Bulldog Stadium. 1A football games on last Friday night. El Capitan beat Mountainside 60-0. Desert Heights Prep beat Anthem Prep 56-22. Baghdad over Tempe Prep 38-24. Lincoln Prep beat Joe City 30-6. Mogollon over Hayden 54-0. Salmonwell beat Ray 66-6. Salome over Mayer 52-16. St. David beat Sibicu 69-0. Duncan handed Superior their first home loss since 2014, 26-0. So I think that's what I read. 26-0. Mojave Accelerated beat Valley Union 69-22. Alamo, Nevada over Williams 36-16 in that one. Let's get to the schedule this week. We'll start right at 1A football. Salome is at Joe City. Lincoln Prep at El Capitan. Cicero Prep at Fort Thomas. Although that game's still on the schedule, but I think Fort Thomas, last I read, Fort Thomas football was quarantined until September 8th. So maybe that game just hasn't been canceled yet this week on the schedule. Williams is at Hayden. Superior is at Mogollon. Desert Heights Preps is at Mountainside. Baba Kivri at Ray has been canceled. Yeah, the Fort Thomas game doesn't say canceled next to it yet. Duncan is at Salmonwell. Baghdad is at St. David. And Anthem Prep is at Tempe Prep. 2A football. Hopi is at Tuba City. San Carlos at Altusay has been canceled. Kingman Academy is at Arizona Lutheran. Santa Rita is at Benson. Coronado at Catalina. Antelope is at Gilbert Christian. North Point Prep at Heritage Academy of Levine. Camp Verde at Holbrook. Gray Hills and Madison has been canceled. Pinon and Mini Farms has been canceled. Bisbee at Miami. St. John Paul II is at Page. Morenci at Round Valley. That's a great football game here in second week of the season. Both teams will really find out where they're at there. Our game of the week is Pima at Safford. That game has not been played since 1945. Safford owns, this will only be the 8th meeting between the two. Safford owns the all-time series record 6-1 in this one. The lone win for Pima came in 1937, a 6-0 win over Safford in that one. NFL Yet is at Santan Charter. Highland Prep is at Santa Cruz. Trivium Prep at Scottsdale Christian. Arete Prep at Sequoia Pathway. Globe is at St. John's. Chandler Prep at Tombstone. Parker is at Tonopah Valley. ALA Ironwood at Valley Lutheran. Tanca Verde is at Wilcox. That game is a big game. Tanca Verde is good this year. They will be around at the end, and Eric Halmerson will have his hands full with them this weekend. And San Pasqual at Yuma has been canceled, as I saw on social media. 3A football games this week. Window Rock at Dysart. Hopi at Tuba City. Wickenburg at ALA Gilbert North. Yuma Catholic at Bourgade Catholic. Coronado at Catalina. Sabino is at Catalina Foothills. Benjamin Franklin is at Coolidge. Payson at Eastmark. Thatcher at Florence. Santan Foothills at Fountain Hills. Blue Ridge at Kingman. Valley Christian goes to Mojave. Cortez at Monument Valley. Estrella Foothills at Paradise Honors. Chino Valley at Phoenix Christian. Vista Grande at Push Ridge has been canceled. Walden Grove now will play at Push Ridge. Arizona College Prep at River Valley. Morenci at Round Valley, as we mentioned. Empire is at Sarita. Odyssey Institute at Sholo. Ganado at Snowflake. And ALA Ironwood at Valley Lutheran. Whew, that's a lot of games. We will take a break here on Overtime. When we come back, we will get into volleyball scores from last night. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Overtime. Lee Patterson with you. Thanks for joining us here on the 1st of September. A lot of info during that football section. We got it all in, though. And now we switch over to volleyball as they got started last night on the court in around the state of Arizona. We'll start at the 1A level with scores from last night. Ash Fork-Seligman combo beat Baghdad 3-2. Fort Thomas blanked Miami 25-17, 25-16, 25-13. Mojave accelerated over San Pasqual. Chandler Prep beat Lincoln Prep 3-0. Desert Christian over Bisbee 3-0. St. John Paul beat North Phoenix Prep 3-0. North Valley Christian beat Phoenix Day School for the Deaf 3-0. Globe over Ray 3-0. Red Mesa beat Hopi 3-1. Trivium Prep over Anthem Prep 3-0, and Joe City beat St. John's 3-2 on the volleyball court in 1A action. 2A action, Veritas Prep over Gilbert Classical 3-1. River Valley beat Kingman 3-0. Rehoboth Christian New Mexico beat Valley Sanders 3-2. Rehoboth Christian. Never seen that before. Heritage Academy Levine beat Bases Phoenix 3-0. ALA Ironwood over Santan Charter 3-1. Arizona Lutheran beat Valley Lutheran 3-0. Chandler Prep over Lincoln Prep 3-0. Ganado beat Holbrook 3-2 in a thrilling 3A North. They were close, 25-20, 25-20, 25-18, 25-14, 15-10. Close one up there. Kingman Academy over Parker 3-0. Gilbert Christian beat NFL Yet 3-0. St. John Paul beat North Point Prep 3-0. Rancho Solano Prep over North Point Prep 3-0. Red Mesa beat Hopi 3-1. Tombstone over San Miguel 3-0. Sequoia Pathway beat Sequoia Charter 3-0. Sedona Red Rock over Chino Valley 3-0. Morenci beat Silver City, New Mexico in a 5-set marathon, 25-19, 25-15, 21-25, 21-25, and 15-8 in the final. Thatcher over Pima, 3-0 last night in the season opener. No scores, no box score posted on that win. Trivium Prep over Anthem Prep 3-0. Tuba City over Northland Prep 3-1. Sholo beat Round Valley 3-0. And I said Joe City beat St. John's 3-2 in 2A girls volleyball. In 3A volleyball, River Valley over Kingman 3-0. Winslow beat Window Rock 3-0. Snowflake beat ALA Gilbert North 3-2. That's a great way to start the season. As it was 25-27, 25-10. So you lose 27-25 to Snowflake. Then they come back and win 25-10, win 26-24, lose 25-23, and then win the fifth 15-9. Other games, Arizona College Prep beat Fountain Hills 3-0. Blue Ridge beat Safford 3-0, 25-21, 25-21, and 25-19. I wouldn't say that's a long ride to Blue Ridge to lose in 3, but not terrible scores. Robert Oblos' debut as the volleyball coach at Safford. Payson beat Camp Verde 3-0. Ben Franklin over Coolidge 3-0. Eastmark over Santan Foothills 3-0. Ganado beat Holbrook, as we mentioned, 3-2. Empire beat Marana 3-2. Odyssey over Wickenburg 3-0. Rio Rico beat Palo Verde 3-0. Tanca Verde beat Saguaro 3-1. Tonopah beat Florence 3-1. Tuba City over Northland Prep 3-1. Valley Christian over Horizon Honors 3-0. And Push Ridge beat Walden Grove 3-1 on the volleyball court. So all the sports up and going right now in the Gila Valley, and that is super excited. It looks like Duncan plays tonight in girls volleyball. Let's pull up that schedule. I was looking at it earlier, did not print that schedule, but tonight in volleyball, Valley Christian is at Phoenix Country Day. Yuma is at San Luis. Anthem Prep is Acero. Sholo is at Hayden. Let's see. Big schools. A bunch of canceled. Santa Cruz at Coolidge canceled. San Simon is at Duncan tonight at 6 p.m. Girls varsity action. I don't know that anybody else locally is in action tonight as we scan through. St. Augustine is at Wilcox. That's the other closest that they've got tonight. Let's move back over to football for a second. Last week we used the Max Preps preseason rankings for football, and we're going to see what they look like after a couple of weeks, actually just 1 week of high school football in Arizona. Let's see, we're going to go to Arizona. We're going to go to 2A. Let's see what they have for 2A. After a week, they've got Eloy Santa Cruz at number 1, Benson at number 2, ALA, which is Arizona Lutheran Academy, at number 3, Parker sits number 4, Morenci sits number 5, St. John 6th, Scottsdale Christian 7th, Chandler Prep 8th, Pima 9th, and Wilcox 10th in 2A boys football. I don't know. I mean, Santa Cruz is the defending 2A state champion, so they're going to be up top. But I don't know. They went and beat Santan Charter with 17 kids. That's pretty impressive. Benson fell to a 3A school. That I think Arizona Lutheran Academy and Parker are really good. Morenci's going to be up there. Pima, Wilcox will obviously be around there as well. So I guess they've got. I think they've got the best 10 in the top 10. I just wouldn't agree with the order that they've got it. Let's see about this is Max Preps, which has nothing to do with the AIA official rankings when they come out here in a couple of weeks. In 3A, they've got Yuma Catholic number 1, Push Ridge number 2. ALA Gilbert, number 3, Valley Christian, number 4, Round Valley, number 5, Snowflake at 6, Sabino at 7, Thatcher at 8, Wickenburg at 9, Sholo at 10, and Safford is in at 11th. Yuma Catholic is probably the best team. Valley Christian is way better than a 4. Sabino is way better than a 7. Sholo, I don't think, is as good as a 10. That's my quick take on those as well. I mean, that's to have the teams. I think this is my bold statement. Every local team qualifies for the state playoffs this year in football. That's my. I mean, let me rephrase that. I guess I have to put a disclaimer. As long as they qualify, as long as they play as the minimum games, which is 6 in 2A and 3A and 4 in 1A to qualify for the playoffs. I think they make it. I think the teams are good enough this year all to make the playoffs. They're going to have to play extra special in the playoffs to make a deep run, which I guess is always the case, but that's just my opinion. The Diamondbacks are already started. We'll be joining that game in progress here on KETO at the top of the hour as soon as we're done here. And we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about ASU Southern Utah coming up tomorrow night here on KATO. Welcome back to Overtime. Lee Patterson with you. Thanks for joining us on this first show of September 2021. As we're getting close to the top of the hour, about 4 minutes away from the top of the hour, when we will join the Arizona Diamondbacks in progress as they take on the San Diego Padres. ASU will open up their season tomorrow night right here on KATO, a 7:30 kickoff. Tim Healy will have the call as they host the Southern Utah Thunderbirds, SUU. And ASU should not have a problem. This is one of those pay games. I mean, SUU is obviously getting paid to come down to Tempe and play this game. It's one of those games that will fill their athletic coffers for probably the year. SUU did play last week. They fell to San Jose State 45-14, so that tells you where they're at this level. But they were able to move the ball. They only gave up 7 points in the second half. Granted, San Jose State took most of their guys out, but should be a big day for the ASU offense. They should be able to correct everything that they've been working on in practice. Southern Utah played a game 4 days ago, so that's not going to help them in this situation. But they may be able to move the ball a little bit. I don't think they're going to score a ton. I really think ASU will blow them out. ASU should blow them out. One side note of this game, Safford grad Ralph Frias is, according to head coach Herm Edwards, has a personal medical situation and will not be playing this year. So there was no further information locally either. But Herm Edwards did, in a press conference, mention that Safford grad Ralph Frias will not be playing this year. And he made a quick note to say that he is not suspended or anything of that nature. So he still has a spot on the team, but he has 3 years to play still. So it was, Herm Edwards started his press conference the other day with that information. So I need to make a list of local kids that are playing and where they're at all levels. Just to see, because a ton of kids commit and commit but never sign, and so I do know that the Moats kid from Thatcher is at Southern Utah. I saw the depth chart. He is on the depth chart this week, so we'll see if he gets in to the game as well. A ton of kids, Division III games starting this week as well. So I need to make a note to make a list of all the local kids that are playing this year in all sports and get that thing posted on Gila Valley Central. If you're not going to be around a radio, you will be able to hear Pima at Safford Friday night at 7 o'clock on GilaValleyCentral.net as well. That'll do it for me today. Hope you be safe with these wet roads out there. And if it continues to rain, hopefully you are safe throughout the evening as well. We'll have a good one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Goodbye. Good night. Signing off.
Come to bed now.
Okay.